I got a group text from my sister's wedding planner with the final guest list. I scrolled through the names of distant cousins, college acquaintances, and my parents' golf buddies. Mine wasn't there. I typed back, my fingers stiff. I think there's a mistake. My name isn't on here. My sister, Brianna's reply came seconds later. It's not a mistake. We need to keep the guest count tight, you understand? I stared at my phone until the screen blurred. That singular message, cold and casual, was the final thread snapping after a lifetime of being the practical, overlooked younger sister. In that moment, something hardened inside me, a quiet, fierce resolve. That's when I decided to give her a wedding she'd never forget, not by crashing it, but by staging one of my own so beautiful it would rewrite our family story. My name's Hannah, I'm 28, and I work as a travel coordinator for a boutique agency specializing in destination events across Europe. I make magic happen for other people while staying conveniently in the background, a role my family had come to expect from me in all aspects of life. Brianna, 3 years older, has always been the star, the pageant queen, the center of attention, the daughter whose whims shaped our family's orbit. I was the stagehand, reliable, supportive, invisible. A few months prior, I'd gotten engaged to Luca, a talented photographer with a soul as warm as the Tuscan sun where we'd met. Our engagement was a quiet, private joy that Brianna acknowledged with a cursory, cute ring before steering the conversation back to her own wedding plans. For years, I'd accepted this dynamic, believing that being the bigger person was a virtue. But virtue, I was learning, has limits. Brianna's wedding was a lavish hometown affair, a country club spectacle for 200. For 6 months, she'd leaned on my expertise. Little favors, she called them. Securing vendor discounts, designing timelines, advising on floral arrangements. I gave freely, believing I was contributing to my sister's happiness. The uninvitation wasn't just a snub, it was an erasure. I called her, my voice trembling. "Brianna, what's going on?" She sighed, the sound heavy with manufactured exasperation. "Look, Hannah, it's complicated. Mom and Dad are paying and we're over budget. We had to make cuts. You'll understand better than anyone. You work in events. You know how it goes." "I've been helping you for 6 months." "Yeah, and I appreciate it. But this day is about me, okay? Not everything has to include you." The call ended. The silence in my apartment was suffocating. The real blow came later when my mother called, not to mend fences, but to ask if I could still coordinate Brianna's bridal brunch. The cognitive dissonance was breathtaking. I was not family enough to celebrate, but I was useful enough to serve. "I'm not invited to the wedding, but I'm supposed to plan the brunch?" I asked, my voice dangerously calm. "Don't be dramatic, Hannah. Family helps family," she chided, as if explaining something to a child. That was the clarifying moment. They didn't see a daughter or a sister. They saw a resource, a free wedding planner with no feelings to consider. I said, "Fine," and screenshotted the entire exchange, a digital paper trail of my own awakening. I executed the bridal brunch with clinical perfection, securing a stunning private room at an exclusive bistro, arranging elegant florals, and curating a flawless menu. I arrived hours early, oversaw every detail, and left before Brianna made her grand entrance. There was no thank you, no acknowledgement. The work was simply absorbed into her narrative. Later, she posted a throwback photo of us as children with the caption, "Sisters forever, so grateful for the people who've always been there for me." The comments swelled with assumed inclusion. "Are you maid of honor? Can't wait to see you both." Brianna's reply was a masterclass in passive aggression. "We're keeping the bridal party small and intentional." The humiliation was now a public spectacle. A week before the wedding, I saw her at a coffee shop with my mother and her bridesmaids, a bubble of laughter and silk robes. "Oh, hey," she said, her gaze skating over me. When a bridesmaid asked if I was excited for the wedding, Brianna cut in. "Hannah's super busy with work. She's got her own stuff going on." I walked out, sat in my car, and cried hot, angry tears. Then I wiped my face, took a deep breath, and texted Luca, "Let's do it." What my family never knew was that I'd been quietly, secretly planning my own wedding for months. Luca and I dreamed of something small, intimate, and profoundly meaningful. I had access to a luxury villa in Tuscany, a jewel of a property offered to me gratis by a grateful client, a place that usually commanded $15,000 a weekend. I had a network of the finest artisans in Italy, florists who worked with the seasons, chefs who treated food as art, musicians who played from the soul. These were not just contacts, they were friends and collaborators who respected my work and my vision. While my family was obsessing over chair sashes and champagne toasts, I was building my own fairy tale. Luca and I moved our wedding to the exact same weekend as Brianna's. We invited 40 people, his wonderful, boisterous family, my closest friends, and the few cousins who had ever shown me genuine kindness. I didn't make a formal announcement. Instead, I began posting enigmatic previews on Instagram, a sun-drenched stone archway, a misty morning over rolling vineyards, a close-up of hand-painted ceramic plates. The caption was always just a location tag, Tuscany, Italy. My followers, many of whom were in the wedding industry, began to piece it together. Wait, is this what I think it is? Hannah, are you getting married? I merely liked the comments, letting the mystery build. Meanwhile, Brianna's social media was a barrage of conventional wedding spam, registry links, dress fittings, and bridal party gift boxes. The contrast was becoming stark, even before the main event. Luca was my rock. "If they don't see your worth," he said, holding me one night as I fretted, "we'll show the world who you really are, not the behind-the-scenes sister, but the brilliant woman who creates beauty." My best friend and coworker, Gia, became my remote commander. "They used you," she said fiercely over the phone. "Now let them watch you shine." 3 days before D-Day, I posted a single, powerful image. It was me, from behind, in a simple, elegant slip dress, my silhouette framed by the ancient stone doorway of the villa at golden hour. The caption read, "Sometimes the best things happen when you stop waiting for permission." The post resonated, gathering thousands of likes and comments. It was beautiful, authentic, and utterly damning to Brianna's narrative. She called me, furious. "Are you seriously getting married the same weekend as me? This is so petty." I kept my voice serene. I said your life didn't need to revolve around me. I listened. "You're doing this out of spite." "No," I corrected. "I'm doing this because I deserve to be celebrated too." I silenced my phone and boarded the flight to Italy. My wedding day was not an act of spite. It was an act of sublime joy. The villa was bathed in the soft golden light of a Tuscan afternoon. Tables were dressed with wildflowers in mason jars, and strings of lights twinkled as the sun dipped below the vineyards. Luca's family embraced me with loud, happy songs. The cousins who chose me beamed with pride. There was no drama, no competition, only genuine love and the deep satisfaction of a dream realized on my own terms. At the very same moment, time zones apart, Brianna's expensive, crowded reception was in full swing. But a subtle disruption began. As guests checked their phones during lulls in the speeches, they found their feeds flooded with stunning real-time images from Italy. Whispers slithered through Brianna's ballroom. "Is that Hannah? She's in Italy. This looks incredible." One of her bridesmaids, unable to resist, showed Brianna a post on her phone. I'm told Brianna's polished smile froze, then tightened into a brittle line. The facade cracked. Her big day was suddenly sharing headlines, and my intimate, authentic celebration was winning the popular vote. I didn't attend family functions for months, not out of bitterness, but because I was too busy building a beautiful life that didn't require their validation. Brianna and I now have a distant, civil relationship. The sting is gone, replaced by a profound indifference. I used to believe that being excluded meant I was lacking, but standing in that villa, surrounded by pure, chosen love, I realized the truth. I had always been enough. They simply weren't the right audience. In trying to cut me out, they gave me the blank space I needed to create my masterpiece. And in the end, the only one left with regrets was the sister who thought the guest list was more important than the heart.